Hi teacher, this video is for the quiz number 5. The quiz number 5 is for the plural, the rules of the plural. Uh, the first rule is uh, for the most nouns is add s in the end. For example, car. The plural is cars. One example for them is um, those cars are on the brown. Um Other is a pencil, pencil, and the plural pencils. One example is those two pencils are mine. Uh, the other example is sons, son, and the plural sons. Um for example, those sounds is very different. Uh, the next rule is uh, add es when the word end in o, x, c, um, ss, ch, sh. For example, tomato, uh, the end in o and add yes, and the plural is tomatoes. One example is how many tomatoes do those for the kitchen. Uh, the next example is bus, and the plural is buses. And one example is uh, the school buses is the school buses are yellow. The other example is foxes, fox, and plural foxes. One example is uh, what country the foxes come from. The next rule is replace for uh, for I when the word end in j. For example, ladies. One example is for the ladies and gentlemen. Uh, uh, in the box when s. And the next example is activity. Uh, Activity and activities is the plural. Is the replace the j for the I. And yes, and add yes. For example, how I have many activities with the university. And the next example is party. Then plural is parties. For example, how many parties are in the Sunday? And the next rule is replace B, B for when the word end in F or FI. For example, wife in the plural is wives. Wife. Replace the FA. No, replace FI for the yes. Wives. One example is in India. In India, you can have two wives. The next example is tiefs. In plural is tievas. Tievas. One example for this word is I just saw two tiefs. I just saw two tiefs. The next example is life, and in plural is lives. Replace FI with the yes, and the B and yes. Lives. For example, the cat have 7 lives. The next rule is irregular plural. These not rules. For example, man. For example, man. Man is MIN, and the plural is MEN. Men. For example, those two men are drunk. Those are men the drunk. The next example is fish. Fish. Normal and plural is fish. One example is you have two fish. The next example is woman. Woman. Replace the O for the I. Example, women. The plural, women. One example for them is the woman likes shoes. Woman likes shoes. And the next the one example more is shield. Shield and plural is children. One example is the children go to the school. The children go to the school. The next rule is plural and singular. And not rules. For example, serious in normal is serious in plural. For example, I am watch more serious. I watch most series. The next example is species. One example is there are many species in the world, and that